Welcome to the recap lunch hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, back in the palatial recap studios. Pulled a first here just a second ago. Thought I was live. Not live. That's fun. Good thing I recognized it early on before we got off and running here. What's up, everybody? Good to be back. Brought the heat with me. You're welcome. I'm with Cap. I'm one of those guys who don't mind the heat at all because we live in Chicago, for God's sakes. For 6 months a year, it's gray, gross, or cold. I will take this every single day. Not maybe every day, but certainly I'm not mad about 4 or 5 days before it softens out and goes back to the 80s. All good with that. Good to be back with you guys here in Chicago. Threw the question out for you. Cubs lost 2 of 3 to Seattle over the weekend. It was an over slugfest. What were there, 9 home runs yesterday at Wrigley Field? Cal rallied, my God. Time to make a move, Jed Hoyer. Who should the Cubs trade for? The chat's full. For those who are just getting in, come on. Bring on the questions. Bring on the comments. Bring on the suggestions as to who the Cubs trade for. You guys know I've been barking Chris Sale's name for 2 months. And now he's out with a fractured left rib cage. I don't see a timeline for him right now. I mean, you're talking a rib cage, so think about that. It's like oblique-ish, chest. That's got rehab. Now, could he be back by the All-Star break? I'm sorry, by the trade deadline? Maybe. It certainly pops the balloon and takes the wind out of the sails from a Braves standpoint of them trying to get back in the race. They're uphill. They've played better of late. They're 11 out of the division. They're 5.5 out of the wild card. Are they 7 out of the wild card? I think it's over for the Atlanta Braves. The problem is I don't think you're going for Chris Sale but they're 7 out of the wild card, by the way. 7. So let's get to the chat. The real Phil Sims. Damn right it's time for Jed. The Mariners give the Cubs the business. Cal Raleigh says you're welcome. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Phil also adds, the NHL Hall of Fame selections are this week. Do I think Duncan Keith gets in on the first ballot? I need to know who the other nominees are, but I think Duncan Keith is absolutely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Absolutely. 100%. I need to see the other first time. Maybe I'll pull that up. First time hockey eligible players, because I think Duncan Keith, absolutely. Let's take a look here. There's a boatload of them. There's a boatload. Looking at these names, Duncan Keith, Andrew Ladd's not getting in. There's a lot of these guys, not PK Supa. Joe Thornton's a Hall of Famer. I think that's a lock. Ryan Getzlaff's probably he's a Hall of Famer, right? 1,000 points in his career. That's probably Hall of Fame. But I'm looking at this list. I think Duncan Keith, I think Duncan Keith's first ballot, 100%. Jess. Yes, time to use that plastic, Jed. We need bullpen help. Maybe that Wintrust debit card. They've all done a great job, all things considered, but time to give them some help. Bird Anderson or Ed Cabrera might be good places to start. So heartbreaking to see Tyrese Halliburton get hurt last night. He was on his way to an epic Game 7. He had 3 threes in the end. OKC deserved it, earned it. Congrats. Give the Pacers a ton of credit, guys. I think they gave everything they had before the best team won. But that sucked. I almost turned it off. I didn't even want to watch it anymore. I mean, I was all tuned up, ready to see the anything could happen Game 7. But seeing that thing pop in the first quarter, I think it was 19-18 at the time. Honestly, it just, God, the NBA had to have been thinking, you have to be kidding me. Especially you had 2 Achilles pops in the playoffs with Boston and Indiana. And 2 of the best players in the league who are now out for next year. Eric, Guff, this better be a wake-up call for Jed and company because the starting rotation won't last in October. This 4-game series against the Redbirds is huge for the Cubs, in my opinion. I think a split's fine. Okay? I think a split's... The offense, certainly can't blame them. What, they scored 27 runs in 4 games? Last 4 games? The offense is fine. I think, like... Cap in the recap yesterday, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you look at it on the page. Cap says he's done with Colin Ray in the rotation. I hear him. I'm kind of done too. But you also got to give Colin Ray a lot of credit because he was a really good Band-Aid or bridge to now. And that's what we were saying from the start, is that can you depend on Matthew Boyd and Colin Ray and Ben Brown and Cade Horton to get you to the trade deadline? And I think they've done about as good a job as they can. It's time to make a move. Eric says, congrats on OKC winning the title. Becky, I know, is jacked up. She's in Oklahoma. Good for you, Becky. Congratulations. They need to DFA Pearson. Cap officially agrees with that. I know that. He talked about that in the recap. Once Shota comes back this week, it's Thursday, he's coming back. I think Colin Ray needs to go to the bullpen. DFA Pearson, he's awful. Also, once Hodge comes back, I think things will get better for the Cubs. Shota pitches Thursday, as I just mentioned. Eric, guess you want Brown to stay in the rotation. I think Ben Brown stays in the rotation for now. He pitches tonight in St. Louis. Really big game for Ben Brown. Ben Brown on the road this year, 3-2 with a 5.82. I ain't going to cut it. Okay. But right now, I think Colin Ray's time is done. Hey, there's the Godfather. My daughter and her family went to the game yesterday. 115 to park, 200 to feed them, not counting the absurd ticket prices. June 23rd, still under the luxury tax. Godfather, it's really good to see you on just another day that ends in Y. Keep trotting out bad starters and bad relievers. Pretty soon, third place. I don't think that's coming, Godfather, anytime soon. Third place. But I hear you. And the Cubs are going to make a move, guys. I've been saying this for a long time. Cap's all over it, too. I know it's not as soon as sometimes you want it to happen, but there are a lot of teams who still are lying to themselves right now. There are a lot of teams that think that they're in the race that are not. Okay? The Atlanta Braves might be a team that's doing that. You know, some teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks, which is why I believe Cub fans should be enormous White Sox fans this week. The White Sox have Arizona for 3. You should be rooting hard. Worst case scenario that the Sox take 2 out of 3. And don't say it's not possible. They just went up to Toronto and won a road series. Shane Smith's on the hill tonight. You want the White Sox to sweep the Diamondbacks. At some point, the Diamondbacks need to figure out who they are. They are probably a team that's on the outside looking in. They have starting pitching help available to you. I look at the San Diego Padres as a team that right now is a half game out of the wild card, but they haven't been playing well of late. Dylan Cease hasn't been great, but Dylan Cease in the Cubs rotation, forget about it. Forget about it. Look, I mentioned the Texas Rangers. Does Jed at least get Tom's opinion on Jacob deGrom? Because I think the answer is yes. Are you willing to take on that salary? The Rangers are spinning their wheels, man. They're 2 games out of the wild card, but they're 2 games under 500. The wild card in the American League is any person, like the flipping Los Angeles Angels are 2.5 out of the wild card. That team sucks. But they're probably going to lie to themselves for a little bit longer. The Boston Red Sox are 40-39. They're a team that's more likely to add than subtract. The Twins, Pablo Lopez, the Twins are 1-9 their last 10. That's a team that's probably lying to themselves or starting to see maybe it's just time. I don't think you have to, like the end-all be-all Sandy Alcantara, although we're going to talk about him here in a second. I know I'm spraying off fields. Lopez, 5-3 with a 2.82 in Minnesota. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. Do you trust that? Look at Alcantara here again. Alcantara, his current numbers. Player pitching 4-8 with a 6.69. Now you're going to go, that sucks. I'll tell you what, though. He was in an 8.6 not that long ago. Okay. He has been a better pitcher of late. His splits in May, he was 0-4 with an 8.64. In June, 2-1 with a 2.74. That'll tell you. Pablo, if I'm going to a Sox game this week, which pitcher has good stuff that I should try to see? Thanks for the show. Welcome back home. Appreciate you, Pablo. Shane Smith's the answer. Shane Smith's the answer tonight if you can make it out there. Hot as hell. Expect the ball to be flying. Bird Dog, does the injury to Sale take him completely off the table for the Cubs? Does all attention now turn to DeGrom, or do we look elsewhere? I don't want to say he's off the table for the Cubs, but he's certainly moved to the back burner. You need to know about that injury. I would be calling about DeGrom yesterday. Nate Avaldi is another name I would take a hard look at for the Texas Rangers. He might be a better fit right now for the Cubs than DeGrom because of the contract situation. And he is a postseason performer. This dude, he signed through 2027. Okay. So you're on the hook for 26 and 27 at a hook. 29 million next year, 24 million in 27. That's a lot of money for Nathan Avaldi, but let me read you Nate Avaldi's numbers. He's 35 years old, which is whatever. We're talking about Sale. We're talking about DeGrom. He's 4-3 with a 1.56. He does have a complete game shutout this year. This might be your fit. You want to talk about postseason numbers on this guy? Here's his career postseason. 9-3 with a 3.05. In games Avaldi has pitched in the postseason in his career. Okay? In games he's pitched. The teams, what is this? In 3 years, he's 9-1. The teams are 9-1. So how is he 9-3, you ask? He lost 2 games in the ALCS. Oh, they've won. They're 9-1 in the 10 series he's pitched. Pretty damn good. He might be my next one. Appreciate it, Terry. Welcome home. Recap tank tops. People are asking about him. Also, got to get on our guys at Clark Street Sports because we should be up and running with our merch by now. I'll give you an update on that. You will take this weather, so will the electric company, says Godfather. Godfather, man, we got to find something to agree on, right? Come on, my man. Yes, I'll take this weather. So I have to pump the AC for a few days. I bought the world's best blow-up pool from Costco because it was cheap. And today, filled the puppy up when we got home. And that thing, fantastic. Fantastic. Tough weekend for Chicago sports, says Kyle, especially the Hounds. Had a big lead, lost it, then missed a kickoff. The post at the end. Great season by the Hounds. Hope they get home field advantage next year. Go Hounds. Kyle, appreciate you keeping up on the Hounds force. Jess, give me a second here. I'm going to get you the cooler. Check it out, Jess. You asked for the cooler. This is what the wife got. This is Father's Day. By the way, this thing on the beach all week. Look at this thing. You could put a 12-pack of beer, Coke in there. Tommy boy. That's what we need. We need to get those out. Oh, Clyde, don't come to the show and start doing the spelling bee thing. Come on now. That's the first comment you have today. Pretty good weekend for the White Sox, says Eli, although I haven't been sleeping very well this past week. Eli, totally understand, man. I know you're in Jerusalem. Stay safe for us, pal. Stay safe for us. Raising a glass to you. I totally understand why you haven't been sleeping well. And quite frankly, I don't blame anybody if they haven't been sleeping well. I always appreciate you checking in, Eli. It's pretty incredible that you're on every day. Swayze, what up? Welcome home. Appreciate it. It's time to make the move. Colin Ray and Ben Brown did an admirable job, but it's time to get real. Go get the toys. Clyde, the Cubs should go after Alcantara. DeGrom still need an ace closer. Agreed. I would like more. I would like another safety net at the back end, but to me, what I've seen from Palencia, Ryan Presley has been much better. I'm okay in theory, but I would like another back end guy too. Thomas, sorry to say, but I'm thinking 3-4 road trip as they split with St. Louis and only get one against Houston. They'll finish June just a game shy of 50 wins, which, by the way, before the year, if somebody told you that, Thomas, I think you'd say, yep, I sign. And if the Cubs go 3-4 on this road trip, I'm okay with that. I prefer 4-3. You can't go 2-5, but 3-4, like the whole point of a good baseball team on the road is to hold serve. Hold serve. Try to go 41-41 on the road and take 2 out of 3 at home, and you're a playoff team. The Cubs have been better than that. All right. I know it's frustrating. They seem to they're spinning their wheels a little bit. Either it's all or nothing on the offense, the pitching staff. It's very clear to me they're screaming a little bit. Help. They're screaming help. You're talking about the Cubs on the road, by the way. Do you realize the Cubs are the best road team in the National League? So if they go 3-4, I didn't realize that, by the way, until I looked it up. And matter of fact, the Cubs are the best road team in baseball. They're tied with the Yankees and the Tigers. So 3-4, no problem. They're going to address this pitching staff, guys. Read that the Islanders might end up drafting Higgins instead of Schaefer. Would be huge for the Hawks if Misa falls to them at 3. We'll see what happens Friday. Go Hawks. Again, appreciate all of you being on the show last week when we had Pat Boyle on to talk Hawks. It was a full chat. It's really cool. We're going to keep doing that. We'll bring guests along the way here on the lunch hour because I thought that worked out really, really well. Speaking of which, this is a really good day to go over to Hooters, originalhooters.com, one of the 11 Chicagoland locations. Get yourself the blueberry lemonade because for a short time, one more week, it's the drink of the month, $8. The blueberry puree, the Bullet bourbon. By the way, probably going to have a drink of the month this week. I am probably going to have a drink of the month this week. You know why? You got to join Cap and I on Wednesday, you guys. Hooters O'Hare, Cap and I will be there. We'll do a live stream at 6:30 during the Cubs-Cardinals game, which starts at 6:45. We will stay through the Bulls drafting their pick. What a night to be at Hooters and with you guys. Make sure you call Hooters O'Hare, book a table. We will be there. We'll do it. We'll be doing a live stream. We'll do a meet and greet. We'll get your opinions on the Cubs. The White Sox have a day game that day against the Diamondbacks, and then the Bulls pick 12 in the first round of the NBA draft. Cap and I will be there. Make your plans to be with us on Wednesday at Hooters O'Hare. It'll be awesome. I think for a fact, you know what? I would love to have a blueberry lemonade with any of you. Or if you prefer the Big Daddy mug instead, we could do that too with the mango cart, with the Sam Adams Summer Ale, with the Kona Big Wave, or, got to keep that beach spot in the summer, the Michelob Ultra, also out there for us. So come join us on Wednesday because I know we're excited about it. It'll be the first time we're out and doing a Hooters appearance since the NCAA tournament. So should be a ton of fun. Pablo, Duncan Keith should be, but his teeth definitely our first ballot Hall of Famer. Love that dude. What do you expect the Bulls will do? Check out Joe Colley's latest podcast, available on the channel and anywhere you subscribe to podcasts in audio form. He did a mock draft, has a kind of a collection of players. He zeroes in on one. The problem with the Bulls at 12, according to Joe, there's like 4 tiers of players, and where the Bulls finished, they're in tier 4. So you're hoping for a modest type pick, meaning can you develop a guy can you draft and develop a guy at 12 that looks like a legit piece for the future? And that's what I think will happen. My guy Al, with weather conditions at Wrigley, I wouldn't worry about home runs. It's fun to watch, though. The weather conditions at the rate tonight, by the way, not alluding to the bet of the day, but thinking about the bet of the day. Tyrese Halliburton will not play next year, says Clyde. Yeah, pretty brutal. Lip Ripper, happy Monday to you. Only 58 days till week 0 for college football. Oh, God, let's go. Is that it? I don't want the 58 days to fly by, Lip, because I really try to enjoy every ounce of summer that we can here. But God darn, do I love college football. Hello, Guff, and all in the chat. Jim, you're the man, dude. Clyde, Bizarro Clyde, appreciate you as well. Phil, Alcantara looked good versus the Braves yesterday. Pulled the trigger, Jed. Like I said, in 4 starts this month. He has a 2.74. Chef Paul. I know Chef Paul will be out there on Wednesday. Chef Paul. The stream starts at 6:30. The Cubs game starts at 6:45. And the NBA draft starts at 7. So we will be there for a couple of hours with you guys in the flesh. Make your plans. Hooters O'Hare, call up. Make sure you're getting a table over by where we're going to be set up. For those of you who came and are coming, again, for those of you who came in March, we're going to be still in that back room on that table. So tell them you want to be in that back, I guess, left corner when you walk into the restaurant. Send Nate Pearson back to Toronto, even though he throws 98. Yeah, send him to Iowa. Just don't put him on the mound in Chicago. Clyde, hey, if you're pissed about people mocking you, don't call people out for spelling errors, okay? Sometimes I throw a comment up there. I read it on the air. I'm trying to monitor YouTube, guys. Almost said something else. So stop, there's no more fighting here. Kyle, interesting stat with the conclusion of the NBA season. Since 2000, all Bulls divisional opponents, with the exception of Milwaukee, have made the NBA Finals at least twice. Wow. That's a really good stat. Need to get better starting with the draft on Wednesday. I like the Bulls to take Newell off the board. If the board falls the right way, yes. Hey, Josh, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Pearson's time's up in Chicago. Whatever Jed has planned, he needs to start using up those minutes and get some deals done. Chef Paul, Cubs are making me money every time it's over 90 degrees. I bet the over. Hey, Chef, get ready. The bet of the day is coming your way. Congrats on LSU on winning the College World Series. Coastal Carolina ran out of magic. I thought the umpiring in that game yesterday was selfishly brutal. Tossing a manager early in the game of the College World Series, I think it's just irresponsible. I hate when managers do, or not managers, I hate when umpires get in the way of a big moment. Okay? That was a big moment. Coastal Carolina playing for their lives, guy gets tossed. You think Andy Man wants Eugenio Suarez, Cubs killer. OD likes the over tonight for Cubs Cardinals. Well, it feels like a good time to get to the bet of the day. All right, so something happened to the bet of the day on Friday. It was voided because during the show, as soon as I got off the air on Friday at the beach house I was at down in Dauphin Island, I found out that Davis Martin went on the IL with a forearm strain. I was going over 17.5 in terms of his outs. Well, it became void. So we stay at 500. Had a tough week last week. We've had a tough month. OD, you just said you like the Cubs Cardinals over. So do I. It's going to be hot as hell in St. Louis. You're getting even money on two offenses lately that have been red hot. The Cubs are sending Ben Brown to the mound, who gives up almost 6 runs a game on the road. And the Cubs have scored 7 runs a game their last 4. And you're like, well, what have the Cardinals done? Well, the Cardinals have been really good too. The Cardinals have won 5 out of 6. Yesterday, they lost to the Reds. They only scored a run. But prior to that, and 3 games were against the Chicago White Sox, but the White Sox have pitched well this year. We know that. Okay. The Cardinals have scored 38 runs their last 6 games. It's over 9 at plus 100. Over Cubs Cardinals is our bet of the day for sure. For sure, it's our bet of the day. So, OD, I'm right there with you. Give me the over. The Cubs bullpen sucks, says Young. Hope the Cubs, by the way, the Cubs bullpen, Young, you're not looking at it hard because they've been one of the best bullpens in baseball over the last 2 months. Hope the Cubs get back to form against St. Louis. No team I dislike more than the Deadbirds. We need 2 amazing starters and 2 bullpen pitchers. Release Justin Turner already. A lot of yelling to me. A lot of Jim, with starting pitchers going 5 or 6 max and so many specialists do the rest, why are there seemingly so many injured arms in baseball? Guys are throwing all year. Guys are throwing bigger and faster and harder than ever before. And I think that's where you're at to a situation where teams are going to run them out there. If they blow out, they have to have, that's why you have to have 8, 9, 10, 12 pitchers deep. Young, you're screaming to the mountaintops, my man. No one's trading for Dansby Swanson with what's owed in the contract. Yes, Cap is in the office. Young and his affection for Cap is unprecedented. Hell yes, I'd take DeGrom's contract if it gets me a ring. Those are the times you don't glue your pocket shut, Ricketts. I couldn't agree more with you, Swayze. Godfather, if they're losing their top 2 starters, an owner who gives a crap would have demanded as president of baseball ops make a move. Jed is sleeping. I honestly don't feel that way because I know this game and I know how it works. There are teams, they might be trying to trade for Pablo Lopez as we speak. And the Twins are saying we're in this race. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not in this race, which means you need to wait a couple of weeks. Phil thinks they should go after Tyler Anderson from the Angels. Stop messing around, Jed, Carter, and Tommy Pennies. But Phil, I just told you that the Angels are 2.5 out of the wild card. They might be lying to themselves thinking that they have a shot. And that's what Cap has been saying on the radio. We have over a month still before the trade deadline. That can't come quick enough for a lot of you, but those are facts. Al's going to be at the game tonight. Maybe Luis Robert will show up. I'm, at this point, punt him into the sun. Whatever you get back, you get back. What do you know about the Sox? George Walco, this kid's 6'7". I watched him hit a ball 447 feet. He's a monster. He also hit a ball for 114 miles an hour. Harfoul, I don't think he'll be up here this year. They have him playing all over the place. He did an interview with Chuck Garfien on CHSN or actually with Connor McKnight on their Road to the Bigs podcast. He's only hitting 222 this year. His OPS is 678. I love seeing a ball go far, team go far concept, but you got to look at everything. Young, I hope you're not serious about Dansby Swanson for Paul Skeens. That's the most laughable. That kind of comment gets you banned on this show. Come on. Bruce Levine said the Cubs may trade for someone this week. Okay, so it could be a guy like Andrew Haney from Pittsburgh. It could be a guy like Adrian Hauser from the White Sox. I don't expect a big, maybe, and Bruce is my buddy, but it would not surprise me for the White Sox or the Cubs to add a guy like Adrian Hauser from the White Sox. That would not surprise me at all. As a matter of fact, I would be calling the White Sox for Adrian Hauser right now. Cap, would you?
I would call.
Cap says I would call. Why not get Adrian Hauser and Nate Eovaldi? Why not do both? One you can go get now, who's a veteran, who's shown you 7 starts with the White Sox, and he's just out there dealing, who's been in your division for a long time, and you could move Colin Ray back to the bullpen. Why not do that for the immediate and the long term? I would do that. I would do that. A lot of questions I'm not going to get to, guys. The chat is absolutely packed here on a Monday, which I love. Cubs have a terrible bench. Brujan and Birdie not the answer in a pennant race. How about Suarez from Arizona, the Cub killer? Could be. Could be. Yeah, Brujan and Birdie to me are I would, and you guys are going to laugh. I don't, but like I'd rather have Michael Tauchman on the Cubs bench than Brujan or Birdie right now. I really would. Those guys to me are just, yes, they're versatile, but they're not good. They're sometimes versatility actually just is a sign of not being very good either. Godfather says it might as well be 10 below outside. Can't go out anyway. Can you imagine Wrigley with a dome? Ricketts would turn off the air. My God. NBA draft yawn. Poor Godfather had it. My gosh. Come on, Godfather. Find something positive. Sean thinks Illinois football is going to be really good. Joe, what is the White Sox constant interest? Cap says they're going to the play. They'll be this year's Indiana. That's what Cap says. They'll be better than Indiana, who went to the playoff with 1 loss. Okay. That's good. What is the White Sox constant interest in James Outman? Every time there's a trade rumor, it's with the Dodgers for Outman. Keep in mind, agents are involved. Teams want names that are out there involved. If I'm a team that's trying to make a trade, I don't want my name in rumors to a player I'm connected to. You want to put me in a rumor? Fine. But it's not to a player I'm looking for. I want to be under the radar. I want to go get the guy that no one's talking about. That's what I want to do. Speaking of things that should be talked about more as we get set to wrap up, you see the bet of the day, Cubs over tonight. Cubs over 9 at even money, I think is very, very tempting and very, very juicy. Just like the NASCAR street race, July 5th and 6th in Grant Park, one of the coolest events this city has in the summer and probably the last year for it. July 5th and 6th, the Xfinity Series on Saturday, the NASCAR Cup Series on Sunday, Zach Brown Band playing on Saturday. We got tickets to all of it. We gave tickets away last week. We're giving multiple pairs of tickets away at Hooters on Wednesday. Tickets through this week, tickets next week. We got to unload all of these, folks. Make sure to stay tuned to the Recap Lunch Hour, to the Rush Hour, to our social channels, because we're giving them away in a lot of different ways throughout the week. NASCAR driver interviews coming to the show. So get your questions ready for that, because we have a couple of drivers joining this program live as we get closer to the race by the end of next week. And Cap and I will be doing an interview at some point with a NASCAR driver here this week. So the NASCAR Street Race, proud to partner with NASCAR here on the Recap. A couple more, and then I'm going to wrap it up here for you. Phil, we'll see you Wednesday at Hooters. We can't wait, man. Love it, love it, love it. Eric, if we get 2 frontline starters and another bullpen arm, plus Hodge and Soda coming back, this team should be good. I still think they need an absolute frontline stud. Cubs, how many games did the Cubs win this year? 94 is what I'm going to say. Josh, keep Shaw at third, or swing it. Eugenio Suarez, he loves to own us, but what if he plays for us? Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Clyde, hope the Bulls draft Thomas Storber or Ace Newell with the 12th pick in the NBA draft. I agree with that, Godfather, for sure. If Arkansas knew what base to throw to, LSU never makes the final. The bet of the day is the Cubs over 9 against the Cardinals. All right. Really good Monday. Packed house, packed chat. Love it. Hooters on Wednesday. Cap and I and Katie will be there for sure. Make sure you're there. We're going to live stream at 6:30 for those of you who can't be. NASCAR street race tickets all week long. Putting a bow on this edition of the Monday Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, for everybody here at the Recap. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Get out and enjoy the heat. There's ways to enjoy the heat. Don't just stay locked up all day long because it's too hot. Get outside. Throw a hose under your head. Go old school like the 80s. Find a way to get out and enjoy it. I'm Ryan McGuffey. We'll see you tomorrow. Go to originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations near you. Get that blueberry lemonade, or let's have one together on Wednesday. Have a great day.